Hello, and welcome to another episode of How Do Even, where I show you how even I do things, even with things of how it's done. Stuff. So this one is going to be about making a comic, because I just started doing my webcomic again that I did a few years ago and then stopped, and then did stuff that wasn't it for a while, but not bringing it back now. So, if I sound a little weird, it's because there's something going on with my throat. And, so I'm sorry if you start hearing little or stuff like that. So, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so since I'm showing you how at least I make a comic, first thing we need is a script. Obviously. A script is really hard to get started, especially if you don't know where exactly you're wanting to go with something and you don't have like a set timeline for something. So what I did, and this is what a friend of mine helped me with, is start off with an outline of just key events that you want happen and then just fill in the spots in between. So we got our script here, and I put in some information just to remind myself in case I forget of certain things. So we have up in this little corner, vertical, because it's a comic that goes up and down, if you don't know what vertical means, and horizontal means going side to side. The way you can remember that is the horizon is horizontal. Ooh, that's like brain magic. So, it's a vertical comic. I have it where it is 720 by 1280 panels. I guess you can say that that's 720 by 1280p. And so I did some measuring of the actual strips because there's borders around all the panels. So the strips themselves are 1360 by 3280, and then that's just what I work with them. You don't actually see them that size when you read them on my website, which I'll have a link in the description below, or if YouTube changes wherever they will put the description, even if they have it download into your nose. So check your nose if they do that. So we have that, and 600 DPI. What that means is 600 dots per inch, which basically, one, makes your files super big, and two, makes everything a lot more crisp and stuff, especially line work and all that. I would suggest having your line work be that, and maybe if you can figure out a way to like take that and put it into a 300 DPI for your coloring, or you can do the whole thing in 600 DPI, whatever works for you. I'm keeping that in. So, right now I have, well, you can see there's 4 characters. This is one way that I'm trying to differentiate between the characters whenever they talk. So even though you're going to see a little thing that goes from the speech bubble to them, I still like to have this little thing where each character has this different font or typeface for their dialogue. So I have different ones for each of them that I feel is appropriate for the character. Now below that, you'll see it says The Perfect Roommate, which is the name of my webcomic. This is Act 1, which is called The Perfect Roommate. Sometimes I'm not very good with titles. So you'll see that I have what it kind of looks like a little outline thing, because that's how it started off. But I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 issues, episodes. I don't know exactly how to title it. I got that minis, and so I have it to where this is how it works for me. I have the title of the issue, and then P1, P2, P3, P4 is panel 1, panel 2, blah, 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 blah. Since I'm also writing it and doing the artwork, I don't have to do a lot of explaining. But if you are working with someone, like if you're the writer and you have someone who's doing the art, it's typically best to put little pointers of what's going on in each panel. So, say, like in the first one, it says, the first one that's called Roommate Wanted. You have Ned, who is the more shy but more adult of the entire group. He is yelling at Guy, who's kind of a dude bro. I mean, that's basically the best description I have for him. He's yelling at Guy about rent due or being due. I don't write good. Words hard, so I can speak goodly, but word good no. So if I wanted to have if I was the writer and I had someone else doing the artwork, I would describe pretty much where Ned is and kind of, because there's different types of yelling. He could be furious and yelling at Guy, or he could be like, dude, come on, we're gonna get evicted and that's bad. So if you are the writer, just little tidbits like that. Don't go into too much detail, because one, that's annoying to the artist, and two, it can actually be a little stressful. But it's also, you might want to just talk to your artist, see what works and what doesn't. But so yeah, this is basically my process when making each of the comics. I just make I started off by making the first issue, and then I made let's see, which one did I make next? I think I made Where to Sleep. Yeah, I made that one. And then as time went on, I started filling in between those and then putting stuff in between, because I have a whole lot more than just this right now. But yeah, so with all that done, we can go ahead and just get to the artwork part, because you'll figure out what works best for you when it comes to the writing. But this was just something that I did to help out with that. But you always want to do the writing first, because I've done it without doing the writing first, and it was bad. It was not fun. So we're going to go ahead and just go right into the speed paint part, because I made it a speed paint for making the comic, because I didn't want to actually go into it, because this takes me about 2 hours maybe. But yeah, so I drew a Guy here. With a lot of these scenes, this is what I call the couch. This is like a staple for the comic, where a lot of the comics will start off at least with the couch. So I got Guy here sitting there, probably watching TV or something, or just sitting there eating some candy, and did a real quick sketch. I had to keep on looking back at my previous issues to make sure that the sizing of Guy was right. This was issue 4, I think. This was one when Vicky finally moves in. And Vicky is the cat girl that moves in with these two guys, and everything's crazy. So yeah, sketching, then I do a quick inking. I don't do a whole lot of detail with my inking with this comic, because this style is more of a cartoon style. But I do like having the thick lines and stuff like that. So since the couch is going to be in a lot of stuff, I actually have a separate file for the couch itself just to put in there. So here I am making the second panel, and since there's not going to be much moving for Guy, I just lower the opacity of his head and just have him turn his head. Then I drew in Vicky, and I just wanted her to stand there, and she only has one bag, and this is all she owns. And so that went into it a little bit of a little joke, not really a haha joke, but just more of a huh kind of thing. But yeah, sketch that. Always sketch everything out. Also make sure that you title everything properly when you save it and stuff. Makes it a whole lot easier. And kind of was just messing around. When I do sketches, I like to mess around and put a lot of stuff that I'm probably not even going to have later on. because I'm just weird that way. So yeah, inking that stuff, trying to figure out what exactly kind of mouth position he was going to have. Vicky always has that little smile on her face, like almost all the time, so that's not really hard to do. I was actually really proud of myself. Oh, right, I don't know if you noticed, but it says Kitty Purse, Purrse. There's lots of puns in this comic, and I love puns, so that's why. I'm the person that makes you dread hearing a joke. But yeah, so just checking out the 2 panels, making sure everything's lined up properly. Then making the 3rd panel, all I did was just copy what Vicky looked like, and then just moved her head around. This is kind of the lazy way of doing it, but it keeps a consistency, especially if you're starting off. Later on, I'll be doing more of different angles and different positions and stuff like that. But right now, I'm more concerned about telling the jokes than trying to make it look awesome. And also it kind of still sticks with that. I do live streams when I do these, and that was a little joke that was going on with that. And so then this is how since she has the exact same body position as 2nd panel, all I had to do was just change her facial expression. Also, always make sure you have a color palette for your characters. Makes it really easy. I suddenly became Italian. So, yeah, just always just make a different file for it so that you can just grab it and pull it over. That just makes things a whole lot easier. You'll notice that Vicky has a crap ton of colors. She's the most complicated character, at least design-wise, in the entire comic. I'm not exactly sure why I did that. Of course, the comic is basically about her. She is the main character. So then this is what happens when you do coloring for all this stuff. If you looked at my first, and I think my only other, as of right now, tutorial, I use masks when I color because it makes things a lot easier. And so, one thing that I do is that I'll make my first panel with the colors and everything and masked out, and then when I go to the next one, just remask it, but like paint remask it, so it's because it's only slight differences anyway. So then go back in and recolor everything properly and all that stuff. And let's see. I was expecting to be able to have to say more during this. Also, one thing you want to do is always just look in closer and make sure that you are filling in all your colors properly. I actually run into that little issue, like right now. Right there. I don't know what happened. I think because I was zoomed out and I didn't notice it. But it's always good to just check all the lines and colors and make sure everything's good. So yeah, so let's see, coloring there. So, the background's mostly going to be the same in a lot of the issues, so I just have a background asset. The shading, I went with a dark blue. Right now it's just dark blue, and Guy's chibi head is covering what kind of effect I'm having on the layer. I think I make it probably a multiply. I don't know. Wait, this is when I was doing color burn with a lot of them. But right there is when I turn it to multiply. I just liked how multiply looks a lot better. And so then here is the text. It's always good to make the text first. A friend of mine told me that, and I was like, I know I'm going to do that. I just wanted to do this one thing first. Just don't bother me about it. I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to learn. So yeah. So basically, even though I have the little thought the little speech bubbles going to each character. I still have the different fonts because I think it's gives it more variety. But yeah, that's basically the entire thing of it, at least when it comes to making it. When I put it all together, actually, I think... Okay, so here is the strip, and you'll notice that there's no comic on it. Why is that? What's with this crap? Why is there nothing here? The reason why is because this is just the template. And there's all these blue lines going everywhere. Because this is how these are, I think they're actually called guides. But this is how I figure out where I'm going to put all the panels, because I like to keep a consistency, and I don't want... It always bugs me if there's like a slight difference and I can actually see it, and I'm like, that's not supposed to be there, it's different. So, I have all these guides which actually kind of lock in the images whenever I put the images in. So, so I will save each panel separately as a PNG, because I like working with PNGs. At least with internet stuff, it's best if you're going to like print things off, do it in a different format. But right now we're working with PNGs. So I will save every panel in a PNG, and then I will put them into these little guides here, and the guides will lock them in so that I am consistent, at least to the point to where I don't notice anything. And so then I put them all in. I will put a little border or stroke or whatever around each one of them, just to like let them stand out a little bit more. And then up here I'll have the act name, act number, and then the title of the issue, as you can see. So yeah, put that all together, and then when I save it as another PNG, I will save it with a width of 500, which that's like my favorite kind of size thing. Makes everything kind of fit nicely for screens and all that stuff. At least I think so. You can do whatever size you want. Just know that there are some sites that don't resize things for you. So that's why I stick with 500, because you're still able to read things, but it fits on the screen. So do all that, and then I post it onto the Smack Jeeves, and then I will make a little ad panel where I take the first panel of every issue and then put the title, like the act title and the title of the issue, and then that's my thing to put on my Tumblr and Twitter and DeviantArt and all that stuff, to tell people, hey, I have a new issue, come to my site that's not mine, but it's someone else's, but they let me do this. And then people see it, and then they go, haha, and then they go on the rest of their day, or become fans, or give me money or something. I don't know what people do. People are weird. So yeah, that's basically how I do things with comics. So thank you very much for listening and watching and sitting there, unless you're at a stand-up desk. Why? I never understood those. But yeah, so let me know what you like. Let me know what you want me to do a tutorial of next. And this link is going to be in the description to the comic and to the Tumblr for the comic and other things and stuff and dealy bobs. And okay, so I'll see you guys next time.